you know that over 99% of Jamaica's beautiful coastline is inaccessible to Jamaicans because of British colonial law? I'm here with members of Javan who will be talking to you about what you can do to help this issue.
We need some justice. Tourists boycott hotels in Jamaica that does not allow Jamaicans to access the beaches. Jamaicans in Jamaica support Jabem's protest.
Push your MP to support repealing and replacing the Beach Control Act of 1956 and ensuring Jamaicans have rights to access their beaches.
Come to the court to support court actions to protect the beaches in Jamaica.
Share this video. Beach access is a human right.
Ladies and gentlemen, for a while now, we've seen Jamaicans complain that they are being denied access to their own beaches by their own people, by their own government. Now remember, or rather, just think of this. You as a Jamaican, you are a citizen of this country. Your country is surrounded by water. And you cannot access the beaches in your country. But the foreigners get access to the beaches freely. I mean, this is just unacceptable. So guys, with me here, I have a video, a very interesting video for you, whereby the Jamaicans have decided to clap back and stand and fight for what rightfully belongs to them. So watch this video up to the end, and then I'll be back with a few comments. Remember, I'm your host, Tyrell Reactions, and if you're coming across my video for the first time, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. So watch this video, and then I'll be back with a few comments.
We should be able to use our beaches. We are a beach community. We are beach people. We're a small island surrounded by water.
Jamaicans can no longer access their own beaches.
This is where they work. Say they don't have a other job. They don't have nothing else to turn to.
Tourists can pay for exclusive access to beaches at all-inclusive resorts, but everyday Jamaicans are increasingly being blocked out of them.
When you push a fisherman from a beach, where did you want him to go? We are living in between waters, and we have no access to a beach.
Some Jamaicans are organizing to take down the colonial-era land laws that still affect them today.
Jamaican came into emancipation landless and homeless, and that problem have not changed in Jamaica.
And they're suing companies for cutting off their access to the beaches.
And we also will not stop until the entire Jamaican public is able to access the beach freely. Tourists are get beach, rich people are get beach. How come I buy, we have to buy access to the beach? That can't continue.
This is Steertown, a historic fishing community on the north coast of Jamaica. Local residents relied on the beach for their livelihood. But in 2020, two companies bought the land containing the pathways leading to Malmö Bay Beach.
Discrimination, apartheid thing, we're tired of that. That must end.
The owners built a cement wall along the property, effectively cutting off surrounding communities from the coast. Lifelong fisherman Norris Arscott lives up the hill in one of these communities. Both his father and grandfather before him worked as fishermen at the same beach that he did.
All right. That's the hotel there, and the beach is just right beside the hotel there. It doesn't take me more than like 8-10 minutes from here to the beach. Now they push you off there. I had to do 10 miles each morning to do my fishing work.
To access the new fishing beach, Norris is forced to bike at 4:30 in the morning along a busy highway.
The entire St. Anne to St. Mary is blocked out from we, the fishermen. We've been paying taxes down there.
One of the companies announced a plan to build a 250-room resort on the land in front of Malmö Bay Beach. It will sit beside two all-inclusive resorts that already block access to the coastline.
Here they don't have fences. They got mountains of concrete wall. You can see that.
According to local advocacy groups' calculations, less than 1% of Jamaica's coastline is accessible to the public.
Me, personally, have no access to another beach. So we had no choice than to go where they push us. We've been occupying that beach for 70 years. Those beaches was like our playground. The culture was all togetherness. All fishermen, all children, everybody was together.
Even at 70 years old, Norris still relies on his income from fishing. When weather conditions are optimal, he can make a bit more than Jamaica's minimum wage.
Sometimes I catch just about 4 or 5 pounds. It depends on the weather out there, you know. 4 pounds of fish would be like for $4,000. So I go every day as long as the sea is good. What else to do? There's nothing else.
Minimum wage in the country is approximately $85 per week. In comparison, the two all-inclusive resorts that operate on Malmö Bay Beach can cost hundreds of dollars per person per night. Fisherfolk like Norris often don't see the benefits of those tourism dollars.
I earn more money if I was fishing here But what happened, I had to be going and coming to and from St. Anne's Bay to here to make $1. It's a far, tall journey to do from here at 70 years of age. They are pushing us back. This colonial system is coming right back at us. I'm sitting and I'm tired of building this kind of life with these people called politicians. The majority of them is no good in Jamaica.
There are approximately 74 public beaches on the island, but many of them are in disrepair, charge daily use fees, or are difficult to access without a vehicle. Damien Combs lives in Steertown, down the road from Norris. Since the beach's access was blocked, he has seen his neighbors lose their entire source of income.
So we're looking here at jet skis which have been parked, so to speak. Some of them are broken, some of them have damaged engines. They would sell rides to tourists or sell rides to locals. Jet skis put food on the table. The thing that the government will tell you, and these hotels, that they create jobs. They create jobs, but what kind of jobs? You're actually working in a hotel, which you will never ever be able to afford. You have all your independent people that did their own independent work and created their jobs that have lost those jobs. The people that sell t-shirts, they're the fisher folk. Beach closing basically cancelled all those jobs.
A grassroots organization called Jabem has started organizing communities like Damien's to fight for beach access. Jabem helps communities with advocacy, including organizing this protest and getting beach access rights cases into the courts.
They take our ancestors from Africa and encamp us around here. They give us Jamaican nationality. But yes, they're giving us piecemeal. Because they want to tell us that we can't go over there. And up here, we are here to repeal a draconian law passed during the colonial era that says that we, as Jamaicans, don't have any rights access our God-given beach or environment.
Jamaica gained independence from the UK in 1962, but many laws from colonial rule remain intact, including one called the Beach Control Act of 1956. The law states that the British Crown maintains all rights to the foreshore, and that the public has no inherent rights to access it. While the monarchy no longer governs, this law is still the primary beach access policy on the island, so legally, Jamaicans are still not guaranteed the right to access the beach. In other Caribbean countries like Barbados and Aruba, all beaches are considered public property.
And we have a slogan in Jamaica, one love. But where is the one love for the Jamaicans? By our government.
Devin Taylor is the president of Jabem, or the Jamaica Beach Birthright Environmental Movement. He started the organization in 2022 after his hometown was cut off from the shoreline.
We want the decolonization of this land. And all these colonial era laws must go. They no longer represent the ideals of the descendants of enslaved Africans.
Black Jamaicans still face systemic inequalities rooted in British colonialism. Jamaica was a center of the Caribbean slave trade. The British government granted enslaved Africans emancipation in 1838, but they didn't receive any reparations or land. Instead, it was slave owners who were provided reparations for their economic loss. Voting rights were originally tied to property ownership, and so landless Jamaicans couldn't vote until 1944. It's estimated that nearly 20% of the country's population still lives in informal settlements without land titles.
The moneyed class buy all the properties along the coastline. They're allowed to fence their property. Now we're in a crisis situation. It's what? Easily 35, 40 degrees today. My community that lives across from the road, less than 0.3 miles, cannot go to the beach. Tourists is monopolized. Comes off a plane, get into a bus, get onto a resort, never leave the resort. So money that would have spent in communities, no longer. It stays into multinational corporation that then leaves Jamaica.
The Caribbean is the most tourism-dependent region in the world. But according to the UN, approximately 80% of all tourism dollars spent in the Caribbean end up leaving the region. This has been experienced firsthand by Shanika Taylor, who sells souvenirs and food on the beach of one of these resorts at Cooper's Pen.
Yesterday, there are 26 of them in the group. Yesterday, they take them out to shop outside of the hotel. They spent over $1,000 US getting t-shirts, clothing. So they said that they did not know about us here on the beach. They don't tell the tourists about us because the hotel have their own gift shops.
Jamaica and her fellow vendors set up makeshift stalls in front of the construction site of a new resort. But once the resort is built, they will likely have nowhere to sell. The construction already cut off local fisherfolk's access to the beach.
After the hotel is finished, I'm not sure what is going to take place. So we're going to have to move. And we don't know where to. We don't have a spot to put up our shops. We don't have nothing. So this is how we have to pull down.
The tourism industry makes up approximately 20% of the country's GDP. But the Minister of Tourism has also acknowledged that the sector is known for low-paid, low-skilled jobs that provide little economic security. Access to tourists is often limited for Jamaicans like Shaneka, who sell food and souvenirs to make a living.
So the rules are 2 persons on the beach at a time, 20 minutes apiece. We're not supposed to go to the tourists where they're sitting. We have to stay at a distance. We have to call them to come to us. And sometimes they tell us like we have to go in the water to walk. Makes us feel sad sometimes because we are not going to harm the guests. We're not going to do anything that's not right. But the good thing is that they allow us to walk. So we kind of appreciate that.
Many of the other vendors at Cooper's Pen used to sell their products from a shopping village. They say they have been forced to move numerous times since construction began on the resort. While they all rely on their income from selling to tourists, the conditions they face to do so continue to get worse. There's no longer a direct
Jamaicans should have a free access to all beaches. It is time to stop burying our heads in the sand and realize that pretty soon we will not be able to set foot in certain places in our own island, Jamaica. The public road, which has been used for generations of Portlanders, was closed August 2022 by the Portland Municipal Corporation. Access to the Blue Lagoon is now through a private land with no formal plan to extend free access beyond 2025. Please join with Portland Environmental Action and Jamaican Beach Birth Rights and Environmental Movement, JABEM, to demand unfettered public access along the Blue Hole Parochial Road for all time. This is to protect free public access to this important national monument. If you live in Portland or if you can make it to Portland, please come and support continue public access to the Blue Lagoon in Portland, Jamaica at the Port Antonio Courthouse on March 25th at 9 a.m. If you have been following me for a while now, you must know that I'm very passionate about Jamaica and about our beaches. More importantly, I made a post about this when I was in the Cayman Islands, and I also followed the whole closure of the Blue Lagoon during last year. It is always baffling to me, the selective outrage about the lack of freeness of our beaches in Jamaica. It is very interesting to watch people agree and disagree with this matter. We do not need stretchers and showers at every single beach. What we need is to have free access to our own land, to our coastline. And as you can see here, the police has been sent to places such as the Lagoon Road. This road has been used for Portlanders for so many years and closed just for no reason whatsoever. And right now, come 2025, we don't know how persons are going to be able to access the Blue Lagoon. Don't come on the comment and tell me, say, people are drowned there, so, because whole heap of people are drowned over Bob Marley Beach and people drown everywhere. It is not the Blue Lagoon alone. And don't forget that there is still a fight going on to protect Bob Marley Beach, which is also going to be blocked off, which is also another landmark in Jamaica. Very important for our culture. Very important for what Jamaicans stand for. So Jamaicans, me wish me was there. I would have been in the Portland Courthouse a long time. From today, me would have been there. So, but me not there. So me I ask you, me I beg uno, please go support and go represent and stand up for your rights. Thank you so much for watching. Much love.
Let's talk about exploitation. Let's talk about capitalism. And that brings me to how Jamaicans cannot access their own beaches because of capitalism and exploitation. As a citizen of a developing country, I've seen that most investors from developed countries go to developing countries, and because of their money, their resources, and their power to exploit, they treat the locals of that country like they're less than. They create their own schools with better systems and keep locals out. They build businesses that take advantage of the resources native to that land and then exclude natives from that land. And they deprive the citizens of that very country from reaping the optimal benefits of belonging to that country. So we have this person from another country ruling the world I grew up in, that I'm entitled to, that I pay taxes to, simply because they have money. There's gotta be some form of ism. I can't find it yet, but it gotta be.
So guys, once again, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Tyrell Reaction, and it's just sad to see Jamaicans really crumble to get what rightfully belongs to them. In this case, we've seen Jamaicans really cry out on the streets, trying to tell the government that these beaches belong to them. Why are they selling them to the foreigners, whereby these foreigners tend, or rather end up, privatizing these beaches, and now the Jamaicans get completely barred from accessing their beaches. Now, you know, this forces Jamaicans to be landlocked in their own country. And in this case, I'd love to give an example. You try to imagine this. Somebody comes to your home. You ask the home owner. Somebody comes to your home and now takes control of your house, dictates to you what you're gonna do, which room to enter, which services you will receive in your own home, while he himself or herself just gets full access to your house. Tell me if that's possible. And now this is just the case whereby we're seeing in Jamaica. And I'm happy to see Jamaicans really clap back, really stand to fight for what rightfully belongs to them. In this case, we've seen how Jamaicans have stand strongly with fear gone. They are facing these leaders, telling these leaders to make sure that they get rid of these foreigners who are buying these public beaches and end up privatizing them. Jamaicans are being denied access to what rightfully belongs to them, to what's in their country by a foreigner. I mean, what's happening to my beautiful Jamaica? What's happening? This reminds me whereby the reggae legend Sizzler has talked about this issue on his stage. And not just him alone, also the Bob Marley kids, may his soul rest in peace. We have Stephen, we have Sidela, we have Ziggy. They have talked about it. They are backing the Jabem campaign, whereby they are asking all the government and all the British hotels in Jamaica to boycott this case whereby Jamaicans are being denied access to their own beach, whereby I doubt if they will be able to do that, or rather to achieve that, because these people are the same people enjoying the benefits of Jamaicans being denied access to their own beaches. Like, what's happening? And this reminds me of this. I'd love to read a few things for you, and this really caught my attention. Now, the Beach Control Act that was written in 1956. This was when the country was still under a British colony. And I think that's just the same thing we're still witnessing now, because why would foreigners, why would British colonizers buy public beaches in Jamaica and end up privatizing them? This denies Jamaicans access to their own beaches. Now, this means that by law, the hotels have no legal obligations to keep the beaches open and accessible. And mind you me, only 80% of wealth created by, or rather created from tourists are used, or rather are being transferred to the Western countries, to the foreign countries. Imagine 80% of the wealth gained from the tourism sector. Only 20% gets to benefit Jamaica as a country, but the rest 80% gets taken by the Westerners these foreigners to their own country, like they are the one benefiting from this. Why is the government of Jamaica not reacting to this? We've seen Jamaicans come forward, make sure that they have spoken against this issue, and I appreciate all Jamaicans for speaking up. We know only with your voice there can be a change. If you remain silent, there is no change, because at this point we can only see the greedy leaders in the government are the only ones benefiting, not you. You're only being taxed high. You're being taxed high. You cannot access these beaches. The only people benefiting are the Westerners and the people, the greedy leaders of the government. So speak up, make sure that this thing ends. Let Jamaicans enjoy what rightfully belongs to them. So guys, I've been your host, Tyrell Reactions. Please tell me what to think of this video. Tell me what to think of what's happening in Jamaica, and why hasn't the government of Jamaica taken any step to make sure that all of this stops? Engage me in the comment section, and of course I'd love for you to give me a subscribe. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, and share this video with your friends and your loved ones so that the YouTube algorithm can recommend it to a wider audience as much as possible. Let's create this awareness. So guys, until we meet again in my next video, peace out and one love.